Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you guys are watching this. Welcome to another edition of Talk of the Tiger with me, not the rock star, and him, the rock star. Uh, our topics today, we're going to be talking about two friends and music industry giants who have recently passed away. Uh, Jim just got done doing another show with Mindi, and you guys went back to high school. So let's talk about some stuff. Let's start off first with those that we've lost. And the first one is Joe Thomas, who is I never met Joe, but I mean, he's got a long history with the Beach Boys, with Brian, with you, with PBS's Soundstage. Tell me about Joe.
Well, Joe and I go way back, uh, from the early days when we didn't have a studio. We had a little studio that he would come over to in like Stickney and record. He was always recording, but then he created a fantastic studio called River North and downtown. And I had a Neve console, and he said, "Jim, I would really like that console in my studio." So we transferred my ginormous analog Neve to Joe's studio, called River North Studios, and they made so many great records there, including recording vocals with Survivor and Ides of March and so many famous people. Joe is an amazing entrepreneur as well. With Soundstage, he had everyone on who was on the charts at the time. He had him on the show. And I went to just about every show. And one of the shows was Jim Peterik and World Stage in 2007. And that just got released. And I mean, to watch it, it's like a parade of nostalgia for me. The late Jimmy Jameson and of course Dave Bickler, who's still with us, thank God, and Star. And now it's available to see. So definitely check out Soundstage Jim Peterik, and and you're going to get some memories and some great performances.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he was,
Night Ranger was on it as well, of
mhm.
course.
And Mickey Thomas and Martha from the hotels and I'm sorry, the motels and
Yeah,
Ray Parker Jr. and Leonard Skinnard
yeah.
and 38 Special. I mean, it was an amazing night. Yeah, I was there for that. That was pretty cool.
And finally it can be seen. It was tucked in the archives until a few months ago, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. And Joe is one of the reasons that you ended up meeting and working with Brian Wilson, one of your heroes. I
Yeah,
know that you went on tour with him for that one album, and then you and Larry and Brian ended up writing the Beach Boys comeback song. So
that's why God made the radio,
yeah,
2012. Yeah, that was all Joe's doing. He was a master at bringing people together. And I mean, Brian was my hero for since, Surfing USA,
yeah,
uh, in my room, and on and on. And it was like humbling, if you will, to be in the room with Brian Wilson writing a song. And the first one that came out of us, which took about 3 years to write from inception to recording, was That's Why God Made the Radio. And it went to number one, and it sold, a million copies, and really, kind of brought the Beach Boys back into the focus. And then they toured, and they went to the Chicago, played at the Chicago Theater, and I was there with Colin and Meredith and Karen, and they're doing That's Why God Made the Radio. And Colin turns to me and he said, "This has to be a pretty great moment for your dad, right?" I said, "Yeah."
yeah.
And I just laughed. I had tears in my eyes, really. And I saw Brian right before the show. He liked solitude before a show. He was sitting in the corner, but Joe said, "Hey, go ahead and talk to him." And we talked a little bit. He was just kind of in a meditation state, and then he hit the stage.
Yeah, that was amazing. Another one that we just lost is one that I'd actually had worked with and talked to through our projects, and that's the great David Chackler, or as we knew him, Shack. I
Mhm.
knew some of his history, but not all of it. So I went up and brushed up on all of the things that he's accomplished, and there was a lot that I was not aware of. Um, one of the things that he's done that's had a lasting impact on the world of music in general is um, discovering Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham back when they were doing Buckingham Nicks. So he and his partner signed them to their label, and then when he started working with Keith Olsen and Fleetwood Mac was going through changes, they brought in and met and brought them in to meet the band, and then the rest is history. So just and then he got involved with you in your projects, and we knew that we could count on Shaq to do all the behind the scenes things that needed to be done. Tell me, how did you meet Shaq to start?
Oh boy, that's a good one. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I know that he was dear friends with my music attorney, Mark Levinson, and I think he brought him into the picture. You got to meet David Chackler. Chackler came into town for I just remember a big party. It was my 60th birthday, and he came in all the way from Jersey or where he on the East Coast, and uh, and I knew he was a true friend when he traveled all that distance for my 60th birthday. But he's facilitated so much. Every release, he had a promotion team that brought up the level of sales and public awareness. Um, he's one of those hustlers that really knew how to get things done. You could always get him on the phone. I talked to him every other day. Mark Levinson talked to him every day. Mark Levinson knew him for 50 years. I
Wow.
wasn't that lucky, but at least 30, 25 or 30 years. And when he died, I know he was in kidney dialysis 3 times a week, but he was always like, I got it licked. I got this. And when I heard the news, I was shocked because I thought he would like live forever. He was only like 79.
Yeah.
And I say only, I think perspectives change when you're 73.
Yeah.
But we lost a great man.
Yeah. I mean, when a new album was coming out, he knew all of the stuff to do with all of the publishing and the rights and all of that. You just here, you do it.
Yeah.
And he made it all happen. And it's gonna be tough with this
Yeah.
upcoming release and Shaq not being part of the team.
Yeah. There's a giant Chackler hole in my life
Yeah.
uh, that has to be filled. But that's what
Yeah.
life goes on.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring it up a little bit. You recently got on the road with Mikey Borch, and you headed up to Jazz on the Vine, which is a big jazz festival that's been going on for years. And it wasn't just because you like jazz. You were going to do something.
Yeah, we Karen and Mary Jane and Mike and I we traveled out there and had a blast. I mean, this has to be like the 15th Jazz on the Vine that Karen and I have been to. And it used to be outside and it used to be enormous. Now it's in a wonderful auditorium, and the scale of it in terms of audiences, well, the place was packed, but there wasn't the capacity for 5,000 people like there used to be in this giant tent. Uh, so it was even more intimate, and I liked it even better. And every act, and I can't name them all, but we watched them all, and we're just at the chops of these players. And of course, the headliner on Friday was Mindi Abair, and she had asked me about a week before if I would join her on stage. Hell yeah. We've played so much together through the past 15 years. Uh, she's just a doll, and she keeps getting better and better. And Karen says her voice is even better now. She looks, you know, like
Like
30,
Mindy.
like Mindy, and so vibrant, and her sax playing is ridiculous. So we had it set up midway through the set. the band was going to leave, her great band was going to leave the stage, and we were going to do The Search Is Over. And we have a very special version of that. Uh, Vocal duet with sax interludes. Oh my God. People say that's their when in the audience, that's my favorite version of The Search Is Over. And I got to say, it's probably mine too. It really brings the emotion out of that song. It's so simple. One acoustic guitar and Mindi and her two voices. So then I went backstage and waited for the announcement at the end. We got one more song. We're going to bring him back, and Jim Peterik, and we did "Eye of the Tiger," and brought down the house. Plenty of room in the middle for soloing and interplay between guitars and saxes, and people just stood up, and the response is just incredible.
That's always Mindy's always fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, definitely part of the family. And it's always fun to watch you guys on stage. So, and you're right. She is, as I've watched over the years since I met her through you, yeah, the confidence and everything is building. And as a singer, it's she was tentative in the earlier years, and then all of
Right.
a sudden it's just like, no, wait, I can sing, and has really gotten good. So yeah, it's always fun to watch. I love Mindy.
Yeah, who doesn't love Mindy? And all the songs, the do 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 song, it's just so simple and so primal, and everybody's singing along. Do, do, do. I remember the first time I saw her, I said to Karen, "This is really catchy."
Yeah,
You
it
don't need
just
you don't need words all the time.
just sticks in your brain.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
an earworm. Yep.
yep. Now, you guys, the Ides, went back to high school. We want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, this we love going back to Morton West, our alma mater, and playing in the same auditorium. But we did shows
Yeah.
during school hours. And the ads would get up there and do like three or four numbers for the audience. We did that all 4 years of high school. And here we are back in the auditorium. Hasn't changed much. The chairs are different, the seats are different, but the same great acoustics in that hall. And we had the pleasure of they put together a great band. We've been working with this band. By the way, this is a scholarship presentation. Every year we grant uh, scholarship through our vehicle for education to a deserving musician, artist, anything in the arts, male, female. And this year it went to a very talented electronic music guy. See, things change.
Yeah.
And he was the coolest guy. And he got along so well with everybody. And we presented after we played, presented him with the check, and he was blown away. It was so great. So, like I said, we played with not only our band, but members of the faculty band, which we've played with before, and they're all great. And we did the usual suspects, Vehicle and Eye of the Tiger, and I think we did one more, maybe LA Goodbye, but we told stories behind those songs. And you know what? Those students, they listened, unlike when we were in high school, everybody's like, ah, these kids were so cool and clapped their butts off after each song. And you really felt appreciated.
And yeah, it's cool that your school is still there, that you guys really still support it. And I mean, that's something that really shows because I mean, not counting Scott, who went somewhere else. Um, but I mean, you guys all went to that school together. You started the band there together, and and you still support it, and you're all still friends. So I mean, there's a whole magical thing going on with that, which is in this business is so rare. So I mean, it's very cool that you do still support that, and you support the arts at that school that gave you your start all those years ago.
Yeah, we love Morton West, even though for a while, we had to go in front of the dean and we would go to Larry's house before school, tuck our hair in back of the shirt, put some Brill cream on, and we would be inspected for our hair length. And that went on for a few months. We got tired of hiding our hair, and the mothers got together and talked to the dean and said, "These are good boys. This is their career. Let them be." And that was it. Woo!
There you
From the
go.
I also wanted to give homage to Rich Brom, who really is the architect of Vehicle
Yeah.
for Education. And he was there, and he's always at the mast of this whole event.
Yep. And that, yeah, he does very well with managing that program. So
Uh,
good on you, Rich. Now, speaking of the Ides, you guys are headed up north on the 16th, which is coming up really soon. So you're playing up in Minocqua.
Way up north. I can't hit that low note, but yeah, north to Minocqua. That would work.
Yeah.
Alaska sings better, but this is Bob's second hometown. He has two homes in Minocqua. Not one, two. And one is like for guests and one is for the big people. But no, it's an amazing town. And Minocqua is, you can't get more Wisconsin than Minocqua. And we're playing this beautiful, I would say 200-seat auditorium. And we're going to bring all eight Ides, full brass. And we got the set list. Oh my God, all the hits. High on You, Burning Heart, Flip Side, Search is Over, Blue Storm Rising, LA Goodbye, Is This Love, You Wouldn't Listen, 38 Special Medley, Vehicle,
Yeah.
Tiger.
On
Holy
and
cow.
on and on.
Can't wait.
It's going to be good stuff. And then you have a special show coming up June 8th, right there at home
Yeah.
at a place in Burr Ridge called Johnny Cabs.
Johnny Cabs. It's kind of full circle. I opened Johnny Cabs. I was
Right.
the first act at Johnny Cabs. Colin has played there numerous times with Brooklyn Charmers, always brings the house down. And they rebooked me as a solo act, but I always bring friends. And I've got a lot of great friends, and Colin will be there doing a couple of songs, but of course, Bob Berglund and Scott. And it's kind of whoever shows up there on stage of the Ides, and it's going to be great.
All right. World Stage Roots and Shoots Volume 2 is coming. It's getting closer. August 9th is the official release date. And as soon as we have links and stuff, I'll get them posted. This is
Let me
exciting.
let me give you a couple of highlights. American Dreamer, Dave McColskis, Your Own Hero, Mike Reno, Stronger Than You Know, Jim Peterik and Dave McColskis, Been to the Mountain, Jason Sheff, former member of Chicago, All That's Mine to Give, Toby Hitchcock, Forever Endeavor, Toby Hitchcock, We Can Fly, The Ides of March, Love Lives, Jim Peterik, Kathy Richardson, Hit of Freedom, 13-year-old Sophia Sheth that Colin produces, Neil Donnell, the current lead singer of Chicago with a song called Until, and Road to Forever, which I wrote for Dennis DeYoung and Suzanne. It's a special song for them.
Yeah, it's great music. And as much as you loved Volume 1, Volume 2 is just awesome.
It's
So you've got that to look forward to. In the meantime, keep listening to Volume 1 and tell your friends about it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
use that as a warm up, as a preparation for Volume 2. So, New
Well,
World Stage album is always a time to celebrate.
yeah. And one last thing, we're working on a new Ides of March album.
Hmm.
Uh, and I'm writing material. Larry and I wrote some new ones. Actually, Mike Borch and I, when we went to Jazz on the Vine, we wrote a song. Anyway, but that won't release till like Christmas.
Yeah,
Hopefully at the Christmas show, which will be announced, we'll have them for sale. So that's the goal.
awesome. New Ides music is always a good thing too.
I love
And
it.
that, as I keep saying, is one of the things that sets you apart from the other bands of your era is that you keep cranking out good new music.
Thank you. Yeah, it's we're really blessed to have the original band together
Yeah,
and a songwriter that never stops. Oh, that's me.
that's you. Yeah. 60 years you guys have been together. Let's remind people
Yeah,
that the original four, you, Larry, Bob, and Mike,
right.
have been friends in a band for 60 years, and you're still playing and you still sound as good as ever.
Well, you're right. And I got to get off this interview because in the next room, I'm due for the rehearsal.
All right.
Yeah. Well, great talking to you, Paul.
Good enough, Jim. And that's it for this edition. And you go have a rehearsal and get ready to rock the audience. And we'll get this up. And if you're watching this, remember that you click subscribe and you hit that little bell thing so that when we put new ones up, you get notifications. And share these with your friends. Leave comments. Tell us what you think. All of that stuff. So from me, Paul, and him, Jim.
Team Peterik.
Have a good week. See you later. Bye.
Thanks, Paul.
Great God in heaven, you know I love you.